ready to play on the hottest team in town today, the New York Mets. Any season at all, you can drop around, you can even call the New York Mets. If you want to have the kind of fun you haven't had yet, then OTB is bound to be your very best bet. So come on in, join the crowd, watch a horsey set with the New York Mets. New York Mets, the New York Mets.
I'm Eddie Arcaro. Coming up is the Preakness. Watch it live on television Saturday, May 17th. Check your newspaper for time and channel. And OTB will be open for business 7 a.m. Friday morning, May 16th, up until 5:15 p.m. Saturday.
So come on in, join the crowd. What a horsey said. We're not the New York Mets. We're not the New York Nets. We're not the Nets, not the Mets, not the Jets. We're the New York Mets.
This is WMCA, New York.
News of the hour on the hour from American Information Radio. This is Don Fischer, and at this hour, Secretary of State Kissinger says there was no chance to resolve the seizure of the Mayaguez diplomatically. Kissinger says the U.S. was forced to take military action against Cambodia and told a news conference at the State Department,
"We believed that we had to draw a line against illegal actions, and secondly, against situations where the United States might be forced into a humiliating discussion about the ransom of innocent merchant seamen."
And Kissinger added that there are limits beyond which the United States cannot be pushed. In Washington, Vice President Rockefeller had this reaction to how the military handled the Mayaguez incident.
I think they did a fantastic job. I think it's one of the best handled, most decisive, effective actions this country's taken.
That's Vice President Rockefeller. The Pentagon today says 13 American servicemen are still missing in the Mayaguez operation. A spokesman said one Marine has been killed and 22 others were wounded. A refugee aid bill. That story coming up.
Hi, I'm Burl Ives. You know, I've been telling you that Uncle Ben's long grain and wild rice is a wonderful way to make an ordinary meal a great meal, and to keep a great meal from becoming ordinary. That's because it's a delicious combination of Uncle Ben's rice, natural wild rice, herbs, and seasonings. It has a really distinctive taste just about every grown-up loves. But what about those everyday family meals? Well, now Uncle Ben's has a way to make them special too, with Uncle Ben's new fast-cooking long grain and wild rice. It's flavored with a delicious but milder blend of herbs and seasonings, so it has a milder taste. It cooks in just 5 minutes, so it's easy to serve anytime, with anything, chicken, hamburgers, whatever's on the family menu. So try Uncle Ben's new 5-minute fast-cooking long grain and wild rice. The whole family will love its milder taste.
The Senate has passed and sent to the White House a bill to provide $405 million for the resettlement of refugees. The Senate adopted an amendment on another refugee bill proposed by Democratic Senator George McGovern of South Dakota. On Capitol Hill, McGovern explained.
The amendment does two things. First of all, it calls for an immediate survey to determine how many of the Vietnamese refugees wish to return to their own country. Secondly, it authorizes the payment of transportation for those refugees who voluntarily wish to return home.
Senator McGovern's amendment may find some use, the State Department said today. About 25 refugees at Fort Chaffee petitioned the government saying they want to return to South Vietnam. Gulf Oil has admitted making illegal donations to politicians in both Korea and Bolivia. Chairman Bob Dorsey told Senate investigators today that the political party of South Korean President Park Chung-hee demanded and got a total of $4 million. Dorsey said nearly $500,000 was paid to Bolivian politicians. There is optimism in California that the 2-week-old doctor strike may soon be over. Governor Edmund Brown called for a special session of the state legislature Monday to discuss several plans to hold down or reduce the cost of malpractice insurance. In San Francisco this afternoon, the lawyer for the Doctors' Crisis Committee, Charles O'Brien, told us,
I think we could see, with a special call and with, which is a big step, and if we can work out a joint underwriting agreement with the insurance company people, then I think we've come just one big, long way.
O'Brien also indicated the doctors may return to the hospitals while a settlement is being worked out. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 11.19. This is Information Radio News.
Hello, America. Walter Flinchell here for the Ritz Savings Blitz. A blitz of money-saving coupons on the back of Ritz cracker boxes that let you save a total of 42 cents on Nutter Butter cookies, Bluebonnet margarine, Nescafe instant coffee, and Snackmate cheese spread. Everything tastes great when it sits on a Ritz. And now everyone can save great by buying Ritz crackers in Nabisco's inflation-busting Ritz Savings Blitz at your grocers now. Offer void where prohibited by law.
I'm Don Fischer, and that's the news. Hear news up the hour, on the hour, throughout the day from American Information Radio.
Your voice in New York, WMCA 57.
Jabbar, Raiders, Cesar Cedeno, Mets, Muhammad Ali, Giants, Bobby Orr, Bullets, Earl the Pearl, Fighting Saints, Joe Namath, Knicks, Steve Carlson, Pirates, Jack Nicklaus, Nets, Willie Nasanti, Rangers, the Big O, Vikings, Bobby Hull, Jets, Dick Allen, Islanders, Larry Zonka, WMCA Sports, John Sterling.
Okay, we are set to do it before the Yankees entertain Oakland, as they say in newspapers. Or whatever cliche they come up with. 489-1155, and we'll be taking your calls between now and 8 o'clock, actually 7:45 Yankee pregame. And by the way, we haven't publicized this at all, and I don't know why. I'll be sitting in for Barry Gray tonight, and so we'll be on after the ball game approximately at 10:30. And I believe that tonight we're going to have on the author of the book Dynasty. Peter Golenbock will be on, and you've heard me raving about the book, and we're going to find out how Peter was able to do the tremendous amount of research and work, almost a kind of a mini William Manchester amount of research. Manchester, in his last book, spent, I believe, 6 years on it, of the book... The Power and the Glory. It isn't The Power and the Glory. That was Gay Telley's book about the times. But what's the name of William Manchester's book, Shell? Shell. This is a funny show I have. This is the only show where they don't listen in the control room. They got a rock station on there, I think. What's the name of William Manchester's book? His last book. We did 6 years of research on that's on the bestseller list, and it's a great book. And it's like The Power and the Glory, except it isn't The Power and the Glory. That was Gay Telley's book. Anyway, very much like that, Peter Golenbock spent 2 years researching the dynasty of the Yankee years, 1949 through 1964. So we'll be doing that on Barry Gray tonight after the ball game is over. And wasn't Bob Fitzsimmons great? Yeah, he's such a great talent. Lee Leonard all week, and then Uncle Fitz, and we've had some heavyweights sitting in for Bob Grant. 489-1155 is the phone number. Now, tonight also is the fight, if you want to call it that, Muhammad Ali and Ron Lyle. At the weigh-in, Ali weighed in at 224.5, which is a lot of weight. And he said it was all muscle. People who take Ali seriously are missing all the fun. Like people miss fun in life. If they only would laugh at him or with him, they could have so much fun. And Ali said today that he's going to allow the fight to go 8 rounds before he knocks out Ron Lyle. It's being fought in lost wages. Marcel Dionne, the great center ice star of the Detroit Red Wings, said that he's not going to play for Detroit anymore. Dionne said he plans to seek more money and play elsewhere. And I guess that the question is still out of what the NHL will do if, in fact, Dionne signs a contract elsewhere. Will the glory and the dream? Thank you. Thank you. That's William Manchester's book on the United States of America from the 19th century on up. The Glory and the Dream. And he spent 6 years of research on that book. I heard Barry Gray. I have not read the book, and I want to so much. And I heard Barry Gray interview William Manchester one night. It was a great interview. Really was. And as I say, kind of in a mini research role on kind of a mini United States subject. We'll have on Peter Golenbock, who did do a documentary of the dynasty years of the Yanks tonight. Anyway, you wonder what would happen if Dionne signed, for argument's sake, with the Rangers. Would the Rangers be forced to give up a couple of very big players? Would there be a so-called Roselle rule in the NHL? By the way, the Red Wings allegedly offered Dionne a $1 million contract over, I'm sure, a number of years, and Dionne has turned it down. Well, okay, we're at 489-1155, and we got to get going because we don't have very much time. As you know, Philly beat Buffalo last night in a very odd hockey game. Buffalo outplayed them for 2 periods. And it was 0-0 end of 2 because of the great goal work of Bernie Perron. And then in the 3rd period, the Flyers broke through, scored 2 goals. Rick Martin scored to make it 2-1. Flyers made it 3-1, and then had an open net goal to win it 4-1. Second game in that series Sunday, Washington and Baltimore. Washington and Golden State's first game in the NBA championship is also Sunday. And Indiana and Kentucky play Saturday in Indiana, and the Pacers are in a must-win situation. They're trailing 2-0 in the series. 489-1155. We'll get back right after this.
Chrysler Corporation's new 12-month unlimited mileage warranty promises that any part we supply on your 1975 Dodge, Plymouth, or Chrysler passenger car, which proves defective in the first full year of normal service, regardless of mileage, will be fixed without charge by your Chrysler Motors Corporation dealer.